When you think about dating in the Philippines, there's an undeniable allure. The country is known not only for its stunning beaches and vibrant culture, but also for the warmth and affection of its people, especially Filipinos. For many foreign men, the idea of dating a Filipina feels like a dream come true. Filipinas are often described as loving, loyal, and caring, qualities that can make any relationship feel like a fairy tale. However, before you take that step and ask a Filipina out, there are some important things you need to know. What seems simple on the surface comes with cultural nuances, expectations, and realities that could make or break your chances. Today, we're diving deep into what you need to understand before making that move. Because asking a Filipina to date you isn't just about romance. It's about respect, understanding, and preparation. At first glance, dating a Filipina might seem incredibly easy. You arrive in the Philippines and immediately you're greeted by warm smiles, friendly conversations, and a level of hospitality that makes you feel at home. Filipinas have a natural charm. They are polite, respectful, and often genuinely curious about foreigners. Their friendliness can make you believe that asking them out is as simple as expressing your interest. You may think, how hard can it be? But that's where many foreign men make their first mistake. What appears to be openness and interest isn't always romantic. In Filipino culture, politeness is deeply ingrained. A Filipina being friendly doesn't automatically mean she's romantically interested in you. This misunderstanding can lead to awkward situations if you're not careful. Filipinos value respect, especially in how they are approached. A casual or overly confident attitude might work in some Western cultures, but in the Philippines, subtlety and sincerity matter. They want to feel that you're genuinely interested in who they are, not just fascinated by the idea of dating someone from another culture. So before you ask that question, consider this. Have you taken the time to get to know her? Do you understand her background, her values, and her personality? Asking her out without building some level of trust or understanding can come off as insincere or even disrespectful. Moreover, the dating culture in the Philippines is influenced by strong family ties and traditional values. Family plays a central role in the lives of many Filipinas. When you date a Filipina, you're not just entering a relationship with her, you're in a way being introduced to her family's expectations as well. While it might sound daunting, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that seriousness is valued. Casual dating exists, but relationships often come with an eye toward long-term commitment. If you're not prepared for this, you might find yourself in uncomfortable situations later on. Another essential aspect to understand is the pace at which relationships develop. While some cultures embrace fast-moving relationships, many Filipinos prefer to take things slowly. They want to ensure that your intentions are genuine and that you're not merely looking for a short-term fling. It's common for them to take time before committing to a relationship fully. This period allows them to assess your sincerity, how you treat them, and whether you respect their cultural values. So if you're planning to ask a Filipina to date you, patience is key. Rushing things might make her question your true intentions. Respect for boundaries is also critical. Filipinas can be shy, especially in the early stages of getting to know someone. Physical affection, for example, may not come as quickly as you might expect. In Filipino culture, public displays of affection are often more reserved. Being too forward can make them uncomfortable. Understanding and respecting these boundaries shows maturity and earns trust. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about cultural respect and showing that you're willing to adapt. Jealousy and trust are other topics that can arise in relationships with Filipinas. Loyalty is a highly valued trait. If a Filipina likes you, she will want to feel secure and reassured in the relationship. Simple gestures like introducing her to your friends, being transparent about your plans, and showing consistent interest can go a long way. If you travel frequently or maintain friendships with many women, being upfront and reassuring can prevent misunderstandings. Trust is earned through small, consistent actions. If you're serious about dating her, showing stability and loyalty will make her feel valued and secure. Financial expectations are another area where misunderstandings can occur. There's a stereotype that all Filipinas are after financial support from foreign partners. While this may be true in some cases, it's unfair and inaccurate to generalize. Many Filipinas are independent and seek partners who respect them as equals. However, it's true that in Filipino culture, supporting family members is common. If the relationship becomes serious, discussions about money and responsibilities may naturally arise. The key is open communication. Don't assume. Instead, have honest conversations about expectations. A relationship built on assumptions about financial support is bound for trouble. Clarity, respect, and understanding are essential. Another point to consider is that some Filipinas have had negative experiences with foreigners who treated relationships casually or disrespectfully. Unfortunately, stories of foreigners who come to the Philippines seeking only short-term relationships without regard for the feelings of the women involved are common. As a result, some Filipinas may be cautious or skeptical. It's up to you to demonstrate that your interest is genuine. Actions speak louder than words. Show respect in how you speak, act, and treat her friends and family. Consistency builds trust. Language and communication styles also matter. While many Filipinas speak excellent English, communication isn't just about language fluency. Cultural nuances, humor, and expressions can sometimes lead to misunderstandings. Take the time to understand these differences. If something isn't clear, ask. Filipinas appreciate men who make an effort to understand their world rather than assume. Being curious, respectful, and open-minded makes conversations richer and relationships deeper. When the time comes to ask a Filipina to date you, be sincere. Avoid cliches or pick-up lines that might seem disingenuous. A simple, honest expression of your feelings goes a long way. Let her know what you admire about her. Be clear about your intentions, but avoid putting pressure on her. If she says she needs time to think, respect that. Pushing too hard can backfire. Remember, sincerity is key. Filipinas value relationships where they feel respected, understood, and valued for who they are. Once you start dating, consistency matters. Filipinas often appreciate small gestures that show thoughtfulness. Sending a good morning text, remembering important dates, or simply asking how her day went shows that you care. These small actions build a sense of security. In Filipino culture, it's not always about grand gestures. It's about steady, reliable affection. Consistency creates trust, which is the foundation of any lasting relationship. But what if things don't work out? Rejection is always a possibility, no matter how sincere you are. If she declines your offer to date, handle it with grace. Being respectful in the face of rejection leaves a positive impression. Sometimes, friendships that begin without pressure develop into something more significant over time. Patience is essential. It's also important to understand that cultural differences will continue to arise as the relationship develops. Things like religion, family traditions, and future plans might reveal differences you hadn't considered. These moments require open communication and compromise. Successful relationships with Filipinas are built on mutual respect and the willingness to grow together despite differences. Finally, remember that dating a Filipina isn't about saving or rescuing someone. It's about partnership. Many Filipinas are strong, independent women who seek genuine connections. They are looking for partners who value them for their personalities, values, and dreams. Approaching the relationship with a mindset of equality, respect, and curiosity creates a healthy foundation. So before you ask a Filipina to date you, ask yourself, are you ready for the cultural nuances, the family involvement, the patience, and the emotional investment required? Are you prepared to be honest, respectful, and consistent? If the answer is yes, you're already on the right path. But if you're unsure, it's okay to take more time. Relationships built on understanding and respect last longer than those based on fleeting emotions. Dating a Filipina can be one of the most enriching and rewarding experiences of your life. The love, loyalty, and warmth that Filipinas offer are genuine. But it's a journey that requires preparation, understanding, and respect. So before you take that step, make sure you're truly ready. If you approach it with sincerity and patience, you may find a love that lasts a lifetime. A foreign man arrives in the Philippines, full of excitement and anticipation. The beauty of the country, the warmth of the people, and the friendliness of everyone he meets make him feel instantly welcomed. But what truly captures his attention are the Filipinas. They seem different, genuinely sweet, caring, and attentive. From the moment he starts interacting with them, It feels like everything is flowing naturally. They smile warmly, engage in thoughtful conversations, and show an interest that feels refreshing. Unlike what he might have experienced in other parts of the world, where dating can feel like a complex game filled with uncertainties, here, everything seems simple, open, and sincere. He quickly meets someone who stands out, a Filipina who makes him feel special in ways he hasn't felt in a long time. She remembers small details about him, asks about his day, and laughs at his jokes, even the bad ones. Her kindness seems endless. She sends good morning messages every day, calls him love or honey after only a few days of knowing each other, and genuinely seems to care about his well-being. Her warmth is comforting, her affection feels real, and her attention is constant. Every moment spent together feels effortless. They don't need fancy dates or extravagant plans. Simply being together feels right. In her company, he feels like the most important person in the world. She introduces him to her friends with pride, holds his hand in public without hesitation, and shows affection openly. This level of devotion and care feels surreal. The connection seems deep, as if they have known each other for years instead of just weeks. He begins to think that maybe he has finally found what he has been searching for all along. There's no guessing game, no uncertainty. She seems loyal, loving, and committed. It feels like a dream come true. The relationship progresses rapidly. Within just a few weeks, he's spending more and more time with her. She cooks his favorite meals, learns about his hobbies, and constantly goes out of her way to make him happy. Their conversations are filled with plans for the future, and it feels as though nothing could possibly go wrong. The connection appears so strong, so genuine, that he begins to think, why wait? The thought of asking her to move in or even considering marriage crosses his mind. It all feels so perfect. Why wouldn't it last forever? But here's where things become tricky. The early stages of dating a Filipina can feel so perfect that it's easy to assume that what you see is all there is. Everything seems ideal because both people are presenting the best version of themselves. It's a period filled with excitement and new experiences. However, this is also the time when many foreign men make impulsive decisions. The natural sweetness and attentiveness of a Filipina can create the illusion that you found the one in just a matter of weeks. But is that really enough time to know someone? For many foreigners, the initial charm of dating a Filipina is irresistible. The affection, loyalty, and commitment that Filipinas often show are rare and deeply appreciated. But these qualities can sometimes lead men to rush into things without fully understanding the deeper layers of the relationship. The idea of moving in together or getting married can feel like the logical next step when everything seems perfect. However, the truth is that relationships are far more complex than the early days suggest. Without taking the time to truly get to know each other, misunderstandings and mismatched expectations can arise later. There might be cultural differences, family dynamics, and personal habits that only reveal themselves over time. While the affection and care might be genuine, they don't necessarily mean that both individuals are truly compatible in the long run. This is why it's crucial not to let the initial excitement cloud your judgment. A strong connection in the beginning doesn't guarantee long-term compatibility. In Filipino culture, dating often carries serious intentions. Many Filipinas date with the hope of finding a lifelong partner. For them, relationships are not just casual, they are steps toward building a future together. While this is a beautiful aspect of their culture, it also means that decisions should be made carefully. Rushing into a commitment based solely on the excitement of the early days can lead to regret later. It's important to ensure that both partners share the same vision for the future. The foreign man might not realize that his Filipina partner is also testing the waters, observing how he handles different situations and determining whether he is genuinely committed. The early attention and affection are part of the process, but they shouldn't be mistaken for a complete understanding of each other. The relationship may still be in its honeymoon phase, where everything seems perfect because real challenges haven't yet surfaced. Additionally, cultural differences may not be immediately apparent. While things feel easy and natural in the beginning, deeper cultural expectations often emerge later. These differences can affect views on money, family involvement, gender roles, and even daily habits. Without taking the time to explore and understand these differences, assumptions can lead to misunderstandings. What one person sees as normal behavior might be interpreted differently by the other. Family dynamics are another crucial aspect to consider. In the Philippines, family plays an essential role in most people's lives. A Filipina may feel a deep responsibility toward her parents and siblings, which could influence decisions in the relationship. If the foreign man is not prepared for this level of family involvement, it could become a source of tension. It's important to recognize that when you date a Filipina, you're also forming a connection with her family. Their opinions, needs, and expectations can have a significant impact on the relationship. The foreign man may also encounter subtle financial expectations. While many Filipinas are independent and self-sufficient, cultural norms sometimes place financial responsibilities on the partner, especially if he is perceived to be more financially capable. These expectations may not arise immediately, but can become part of the relationship dynamics as things progress. This doesn't mean that Filipinas are after money. Rather, it's a reflection of the collective responsibility toward family that is deeply rooted in Filipino culture. However, if these expectations are not discussed openly, they can lead to misunderstandings and resentment. This phase of the relationship is critical because it's where many decisions are made, decisions that can shape the future of the relationship. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement and affection, believing that everything will continue to be perfect. However, it's at this point that careful thought and reflection are needed. Are both partners truly compatible beyond the initial attraction? Are they aligned in their long-term goals and expectations? Do they understand each other's cultural backgrounds well enough to navigate potential challenges? Taking the time to answer these questions can prevent future regrets. A relationship that feels perfect in the early stages can become complicated if these factors are not considered. Rushing into living together or discussing marriage without addressing potential issues can lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and even heartbreak. While the early charm of dating a Filipina is undeniable, sustaining a healthy, long-term relationship requires more than initial excitement. It requires understanding, communication, and a willingness to face challenges together. If both partners are willing to invest the time and effort needed to understand each other fully, the relationship has a strong chance of thriving. The loyalty, love, and commitment that Filipinas offer are genuine, but they flourish best in relationships built on trust, respect, and realistic expectations. It's essential not to let the excitement of the moment lead to hasty decisions. Instead, let the relationship grow naturally, allowing time for deeper understanding and stronger foundations. For the foreign man, this means being honest with himself about his intentions. Is he seeking a long-term partner, or is he caught up in the charm of a new experience? Being clear about this from the beginning not only shows respect for his partner, but also prevents potential heartbreak. Relationships with Filipinas can be incredibly rewarding, offering deep emotional connections and unwavering loyalty. However, these relationships require effort, understanding, and commitment to navigate cultural nuances and build a lasting bond. Taking a step back and evaluating the relationship after the initial excitement fades can provide valuable insights. Observing how both partners handle disagreements, cultural differences, and family expectations offers a clearer picture of compatibility. Real love is tested not during the easy moments, but during the challenging ones. If both individuals can navigate these challenges together, it's a strong indication that the relationship has the potential to last. Ultimately, the decision to ask a Filipina to date you should come after careful thought and understanding. The early stages of a relationship may feel magical, but sustaining that magic requires effort and patience. By taking the time to get to know your partner on a deeper level, respecting cultural differences, and communicating openly, you set the stage for a relationship that can stand the test of time. The initial charm is just the beginning. The real beauty of the relationship lies in building a future together, grounded in trust, respect, and love. As time passes, the relationship that once felt effortless and perfect begins to reveal its deeper layers. The excitement of the early days may still linger, but subtle changes start to emerge. These changes are natural in any relationship, but when dating a Filipina, they often come with cultural nuances that can catch a foreign man off guard if he's unprepared. This stage is critical because it reveals the complexities that come with blending two different worlds. The honeymoon phase starts to fade, and what remains is the real test of compatibility and understanding. One of the first things that may become apparent is the shift in communication patterns. The Filipina who once sent frequent good morning texts and affectionate messages may become quieter. This change doesn't necessarily mean her feelings have diminished. Instead, it could indicate that she's becoming more comfortable in the relationship. In Filipino culture, actions often speak louder than words. While the initial phase is filled with expressions of affection, the next stage focuses more on how each person fits into the other's life. However, for someone who isn't familiar with this cultural nuance, the reduced attention can feel like emotional distance. It's easy to misinterpret this change as a sign of disinterest or fading affection. At this point, cultural differences become more pronounced. In Western relationships, direct communication is often encouraged. People are expected to express their feelings and concerns openly. However, many Filipinas are raised to avoid confrontation. They might keep their feelings to themselves to maintain harmony, hoping their partner will understand without them having to speak up. This difference in communication style can lead to misunderstandings. The foreign man might assume everything is fine because no issues are being raised, while the Filipina could be silently dealing with concerns she doesn't know how to express. If these unspoken issues pile up, they can eventually lead to bigger problems. Jealousy and trust issues can also surface during this stage. What initially seemed like cute questions, "Where are you?" or "Who are you with?" may start to feel more invasive. The need for constant reassurance can become draining. Filipinos value loyalty, and their need for reassurance often comes from a desire for security in the relationship. However, if not managed properly, these behaviors can feel possessive. For the foreign man, this can be confusing. The attention that once felt flattering now seems like monitoring. If these feelings aren't addressed, they can create distance between the couple. Family dynamics, too, begin to play a larger role. In the early stages, meeting her family may have felt like a warm welcome. However, as the relationship progresses, the involvement of family can become more significant. In Filipino culture, family isn't just important, it's central. Decisions that might seem personal in other cultures, such as living arrangements or future plans, often involve the family's input. The foreign man may find himself being evaluated not just by his partner, but by her parents, siblings, and extended relatives. Their opinions can influence the direction of the relationship. While this involvement comes from a place of love and care, it can feel overwhelming if the foreign partner isn't prepared for it. Financial expectations may also become more visible. In the beginning, money may not have been a topic of conversation. However, as the relationship deepens, the subject can arise naturally. The Filipina might mention financial struggles her family is facing, such as a sibling's school fees or a parent's medical expenses. While these mentions might seem casual, they can sometimes come with an unspoken expectation that her partner will help. This expectation is not necessarily opportunistic. Rather, it reflects the cultural norm of collective family responsibility. In many Filipino families, those who are more financially stable are expected to help those who are not. If the foreign man is perceived to be well off, he might feel pressure to contribute. This financial dynamic can be challenging. The foreign man might wonder whether his partner's affection is genuine or tied to financial support. The Filipina, on the other hand, may not see her expectations as unusual. In her cultural context, helping family is a natural extension of love and responsibility. If these financial expectations aren't addressed openly, they can create tension. The foreign man may feel used, while the Filipina might feel unsupported. Honest conversations about financial boundaries and expectations are essential at this stage. Without them, misunderstandings can lead to resentment. Living together can also bring new challenges. In Filipino culture, living together before marriage isn't always common or socially accepted, especially among more traditional families. However, for some couples, cohabitation becomes a natural step in the relationship. Sharing a living space reveals habits and routines that weren't apparent before. Differences in lifestyle, cleanliness, and daily schedules can become sources of conflict. The foreign man might be used to a more independent lifestyle, while the Filipina might expect more togetherness. Navigating these differences requires patience and compromise. Another reality that surfaces is the role of religion and spirituality. The Philippines is predominantly Catholic, and religion plays a significant role in many people's lives. For some Filipinos, faith is not just a personal belief, but a way of life that influences values, decisions, and relationships. If the foreign man comes from a different religious background or has no religious beliefs, this difference can become a point of contention. Questions about how future children will be raised, whether religious ceremonies will be part of significant life events, and how religious holidays are celebrated can all become relevant. If not discussed early, these differences can lead to misunderstandings later on. Long-distance dynamics might also come into play. Many relationships between foreigners and Filipinos start when the foreign man is visiting the Philippines. Eventually, he may have to return to his home country, leaving the relationship to survive on virtual communication. Long-distance relationships require even more trust and reassurance. Time zone differences, limited opportunities for physical intimacy, and the challenges of maintaining emotional closeness through screens can test the relationship's strength. Jealousy and insecurity can become amplified, especially if the couple hasn't established a strong foundation of trust. Without clear plans for the future, long-distance relationships can feel uncertain, leading to anxiety and doubt. As these realities begin to surface, the relationship reaches a critical turning point. The foreign man, who once believed that love was enough, may start to feel the weight of cultural differences, family expectations, and financial pressures. The Filipina, who once felt secure and happy, may begin to question whether her partner truly understands her world. If the couple doesn't address these issues head-on, the emotional distance between them can grow. Conversations become strained, misunderstandings pile up, and the relationship that once felt effortless begins to feel like hard work. This stage is where many relationships falter. The dream of a perfect romance gives way to the reality of everyday challenges. For some, this realization leads to frustration and heartbreak. The foreign man might feel trapped by expectations he didn't fully understand, while the Filipina might feel disappointed by a partner who no longer seems as attentive or committed. The emotional connection weakens, replaced by a sense of obligation and routine. Without effort from both sides, the relationship risks becoming a hollow shell of what it once was. However, this turning point doesn't have to signal the end. It can also be the moment when the relationship becomes real. If both partners are willing to confront the challenges together, they can build something far deeper and more meaningful than the initial excitement of a new romance. The transition from infatuation to love grounded in understanding and respect is what transforms a relationship into a lasting partnership. Navigating this stage requires vulnerability. Both partners must be willing to share their fears, doubts, and insecurities. The foreign man needs to acknowledge the cultural dynamics at play and understand that family involvement, financial responsibilities, and emotional intensity are part of the relationship. The Filipina, in turn, needs to recognize the cultural differences that influence her partner's perspective and be patient as he adjusts. Open communication is the key. Honest conversations about money, family roles, religion, and future plans provide clarity and prevent misunderstandings. Compromise becomes essential. Neither partner should feel like they are giving up their identity for the relationship. Instead, they should work together to create a new dynamic that honors both of their backgrounds. Trust must be rebuilt if it has been damaged. Consistency in actions, reassurance, and a willingness to work through issues together help restore the emotional connection. Building shared experiences also strengthens the bond. Traveling together, engaging in hobbies, and participating in cultural activities create memories that reinforce the relationship's foundation. These shared moments remind the couple of what brought them together in the first place and provide a sense of unity that can withstand external pressures. Ultimately, this stage tests whether the relationship is built on a solid foundation or merely on the fleeting excitement of a new romance. If the couple emerges from these challenges stronger, it's a sign that they have the resilience and understanding needed for a long-term commitment. The emotional intensity, family involvement, and cultural expectations that once seemed like obstacles become part of the relationship's richness and depth. In the end, the transition from the initial charm of dating a Filipina to the deeper reality of the relationship is where true love is found. The fantasy fades, but in its place emerges a bond built on respect, understanding, and shared dreams. It's not always easy, But for those willing to put in the work, the reward is a partnership that can stand the test of time. For some foreign men, reality hits hard after the initial charm of dating a Filipina fades. The relationship that once felt effortless now demands attention, understanding, and compromise. The warmth and affection that seemed constant begin to feel conditional, requiring continuous effort to sustain. Misunderstandings, cultural differences, and unspoken expectations start to pile up, making the relationship feel heavier than it did in the beginning. The foreign man might feel confused, wondering how something that started so perfectly could become so complicated. These challenges don't mean the love isn't real. Instead, they highlight the deeper work required to make the relationship last. Frustration often sets in when communication gaps widen. What once seemed like endearing traits now feel like obstacles. The Filipina's need for reassurance, once flattering, may start to feel excessive. Her questions, where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, become daily occurrences. For the foreign man, this can feel like a lack of trust. However, for many Filipinas, these questions are a form of expressing care and maintaining connection. They're rooted in cultural norms where regular check-ins are expected. Without understanding this cultural context, the foreign man may interpret these actions as possessiveness, leading to irritation and distance. The issue of family involvement can also become more pronounced. In the early stages of the relationship, meeting her family might have seemed like a pleasant, welcoming gesture. But as time passes, family involvement can shift from being occasional to constant. Her family might have opinions about the relationship, future plans, or even financial decisions. In Filipino culture, family approval is significant. Major decisions are often made with family consultation, and their input carries considerable weight. If the foreign man isn't prepared for this level of involvement, it can feel intrusive. He might feel as though he's dating not just one person, but an entire family. This dynamic can lead to tension, especially if the family's expectations differ from his own. Financial responsibilities further complicate matters. In many Filipino families, there is a cultural expectation that those who are more financially capable will support those who are less fortunate. If the foreign man is perceived as financially stable, there may be subtle, or not so subtle expectations for him to contribute. This expectation might manifest in requests for help with medical expenses, education fees, or daily living costs. While these requests may come from genuine needs, they can place unexpected pressure on the relationship. If financial discussions weren't addressed early, misunderstandings and resentment can arise. The foreign man might begin to question whether his partner's affection is genuine or tied to financial expectations. The Filipina, on the other hand, may feel hurt if her partner views these cultural obligations as burdens rather than expressions of love and loyalty. The challenges become more pronounced when couples decide to live together. Sharing a living space brings new realities to the surface. Differences in lifestyle, cleanliness, and daily habits can become points of contention. The foreign man might be used to a more independent lifestyle, valuing personal space and alone time. Meanwhile, the Filipina might expect more togetherness, believing that living together means spending most of the time as a couple. These differences in expectations can lead to misunderstandings. If not addressed, they can erode the emotional connection that once felt so strong. Additionally, religious differences may come into play. The Philippines is predominantly Catholic, and religion influences many aspects of daily life, including relationships. For some Filipinas, religious practices and beliefs are non-negotiable parts of their identity. If the foreign man comes from a different religious background or has no religious beliefs, these differences can become significant. Discussions about raising future children, attending religious ceremonies, or observing religious holidays can reveal underlying incompatibilities. If not addressed with sensitivity and respect, these differences can create emotional distance. Long-distance dynamics also add to the complexity. Many relationships between foreigners and Filipinas start while the foreign man is visiting the Philippines. Eventually, he may have to return to his home country, leaving the relationship to survive through virtual communication. Long-distance relationships demand high levels of trust and reassurance. Time zone differences, limited opportunities for physical intimacy, and the challenges of maintaining emotional closeness through digital means can strain the relationship. Jealousy and insecurity can become amplified when distance is involved. Without clear plans for the future, long-distance relationships can feel uncertain, leading to anxiety and doubt. These cumulative challenges bring the relationship to a critical juncture. The foreign man might feel overwhelmed by the cultural expectations, family involvement, and emotional demands. The Filipina might feel unappreciated, believing that her efforts to maintain the relationship aren't being recognized. This is the point where many relationships begin to break. The dream of a perfect romance gives way to the reality of everyday challenges. The initial excitement fades, leaving behind misunderstandings, unmet expectations, and emotional distance. For some, the decision to get married seems like a solution. They believe that marriage will resolve insecurities, solidify the relationship, and provide the commitment both partners desire. However, marriage in the Philippines carries significant cultural and legal implications. Unlike in many Western countries, divorce is not an option in the Philippines. Annulments are possible but involve lengthy, expensive, and emotionally draining processes. The foreign man, unaware of these complexities, might enter marriage thinking it's a natural next step, only to realize later that it's a lifelong commitment with no easy exit. Marriage amplifies the challenges that were manageable during dating. Family involvement often intensifies, as marriage strengthens the bond between families. Financial responsibilities may grow, with expectations to support not just the immediate family, but extended relatives as well. Cultural differences that once seemed minor now become central to daily life. The foreign man may feel trapped by obligations he didn't fully understand when he said, "I do." The Filipina, who entered marriage with hopes of stability and partnership, may feel let down if her partner withdraws emotionally or financially. The disconnect between expectations and reality can lead to frustration and regret. The emotional distance that develops during this stage is difficult to bridge. Conversations become mechanical, interactions feel forced, and the intimacy that once defined the relationship fades. Some couples continue the relationship out of obligation, while others live in silent frustration, unable to address the issues that have driven them apart. The relationship becomes a routine rather than a partnership. Without open communication and mutual effort, the emotional gap widens, making reconciliation increasingly difficult. In extreme cases, some foreign men choose to leave the relationship. However, given the legal context in the Philippines, separation does not bring closure. Without the option of divorce, the couple remains legally bound. The foreign man might return to his home country, leaving behind unresolved emotions and legal ties. The Filipina, too, carries the weight of a failed relationship, facing societal judgment and personal disappointment. The dreams they once shared seem distant and unattainable, replaced by the reality of broken promises and unfulfilled expectations. These outcomes are often the result of unrealistic expectations. The foreign man, captivated by the initial charm and affection, assumes that love alone is enough. He underestimates the cultural differences that shape relationship dynamics. The Filipina, believing that the foreign man offers a path to a better life, may overlook fundamental incompatibilities. Both partners enter the relationship with hopes and dreams, but without a clear understanding of the responsibilities and challenges involved. However, these challenges do not have to spell the end. Relationships can survive and even thrive if both partners are willing to confront these issues head-on. Success lies in preparation, communication, and mutual respect. Open discussions about expectations, family involvement, financial responsibilities, and future plans are essential. Understanding the cultural context of the relationship prevents misunderstandings and sets a solid foundation for the future. Patience is crucial. Rushing into marriage or cohabitation without addressing potential challenges often leads to regret. Mutual respect is the cornerstone of any successful relationship. For the foreign man, this means respecting the cultural values and family ties that are important to his Filipina partner. For the Filipina, it means understanding the cultural background and personal boundaries of her partner. When both partners are willing to learn from each other and adapt, the relationship can overcome challenges and thrive. Trust and emotional connection must be nurtured continuously. The affection and care that mark the early stages of the relationship should not fade with time. Both partners must remain attentive to each other's needs, offering reassurance and support. Recognizing and addressing issues early prevents them from escalating into insurmountable problems. In the end, the relationships that stand the test of time are those where love is accompanied by a willingness to grow together. Cultural differences, family expectations, and legal complexities are part of the journey. Embracing these challenges with openness and understanding transforms potential obstacles into opportunities for deeper connection. Love becomes not just a feeling but a commitment, a choice made every day. So what is the truth? The truth is that dating a Filipina can be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life, if you are prepared. The beauty of a relationship with a Filipina lies in her deep sense of loyalty, unwavering commitment, and the genuine affection she offers. Many foreigners who successfully navigate cultural differences find themselves in relationships filled with warmth, love, and support. Filipinas are known for their dedication to the people they love. When they commit, they give their all. They will stand by you in difficult times, celebrate your successes, and support your ambitions. Their kindness, nurturing nature, and ability to make their partners feel valued and appreciated are unmatched. But despite these wonderful qualities, the truth remains. Such relationships only thrive when approached with the right mindset and preparation. The good side of dating a Filipina is very real. The loyalty and love you experience can feel refreshing and rare. Unlike in some Western dating cultures, where independence and personal space might take precedence, relationships in the Philippines often focus on togetherness, shared responsibilities, and mutual care. A Filipina partner will likely value simple joys, spending time together, sharing meals, and creating small yet meaningful memories. The bond can feel deeper because it's built on daily acts of love, not just words. Many foreign men find comfort in this level of commitment and affection, realizing it's what they've been searching for all along. However, this beautiful side comes with its own set of challenges. Cultural expectations play a significant role in shaping the dynamics of the relationship. Filipinas grow up in a culture that places immense value on family ties, respect for elders, and community involvement. These values don't disappear when they enter a romantic relationship. Instead, they become part of it. Family approval, for instance, might be more important than you initially thought. Decisions you assumed would be made between the two of you might involve her parents or siblings. For someone unfamiliar with this level of family involvement, it can feel overwhelming. Yet, this dynamic doesn't have to be a problem. Understanding that family is central to Filipino life and embracing it rather than resisting it can transform what seems like a challenge into an opportunity for deeper connection. Another challenge that comes with dating a Filipina is navigating emotional intensity. Filipinas are passionate partners. They invest emotionally in their relationships, and with this investment comes vulnerability. This emotional openness is beautiful, but also demands responsibility. For a foreign man, this can feel like pressure. The expectation to provide emotional security, reassurance, and loyalty is high. Filipinas value trust deeply, and once it's broken, it's difficult to rebuild. Misunderstandings, especially in long-distance relationships, can create insecurities that need to be addressed with patience and care. If you're the type who values independence and doesn't communicate feelings often, this expectation might feel challenging. But learning to engage emotionally, showing empathy, and providing the security your partner needs can lead to a bond stronger than you ever imagined. Financial expectations also add a layer of complexity. While many Filipinas are hardworking and independent, cultural norms sometimes suggest that a foreign partner has financial capacity and should share responsibilities, not just with the partner but also with her family. This expectation is rooted in the Filipino concept of utang na loob, debt of gratitude, and the idea that success should be shared with those who helped you along the way. For a foreign man, this might seem like a burden, especially if financial discussions weren't part of the early conversations. However, these cultural expectations don't mean exploitation. More often, they reflect a collective responsibility toward family well-being. Addressing financial matters early on and setting boundaries can prevent misunderstandings later. Additionally, patience is crucial when dating a Filipina. Relationships here aren't always rushed. Many Filipinas prefer to take time to truly know a person before committing to a long-term relationship or marriage. This cautious approach is a form of self-protection and an assurance that the person they choose to be with is genuinely interested in a future together. If you are someone who expects quick results or believes in moving relationships rapidly, you might find this pace frustrating. However, embracing the journey and allowing the relationship to develop naturally ensures that both partners are on the same page when making significant decisions. Long-distance relationships are also common among couples where one partner is Filipino. Due to work, study, or family obligations, many relationships endure periods of separation. Maintaining trust, communication, and emotional intimacy during these times is challenging. Time zone differences, communication barriers, and the lack of physical presence can strain the relationship. However, couples who survive these periods often emerge stronger, with a deeper understanding of one another. The distance tests loyalty, patience, and commitment, but it also allows the relationship to develop on a foundation of trust and understanding. Religion is another area where differences may arise. The Philippines is predominantly Catholic, and religion often plays a significant role in daily life and relationships. Religious differences can affect how couples celebrate holidays, raise children, and make life decisions. If faith is important to your partner, understanding and respecting these beliefs is essential. Discussions about religion should happen early in the relationship to avoid future misunderstandings. Respecting each other's spiritual practices, even if you don't share them, strengthens the partnership. Language barriers can also become a challenge. While many Filipinos speak English fluently, nuances in communication still exist. Sarcasm, jokes, or expressions common in one culture might not translate well into another. These language nuances can lead to misunderstandings. Patience and willingness to explain or clarify intentions prevent unnecessary conflicts. Moreover, learning basic Filipino phrases or understanding cultural humor shows effort and respect, deepening the connection between partners. Despite these challenges, the rewards of dating a Filipina are immeasurable. The relationship, when nurtured with care, respect, and understanding, becomes a source of joy, growth, and companionship. Filipinas are known for standing by their partners during tough times. Their resilience, optimism, and nurturing nature make them incredible life partners. They are not just lovers, but also best friends, confidants, and cheerleaders. Their loyalty is unwavering when they feel secure and valued. To build a successful relationship with a Filipina, clear communication, patience, and cultural sensitivity are essential. Discussing important topics such as money, family involvement, future goals, and cultural practices helps align expectations. Relationships thrive when both partners are willing to adapt and grow together. Showing interest in your partner's culture, participating in local traditions, and learning about her background strengthen the bond. Before rushing into commitment, ask yourself, are you ready to embrace not just the person, but also the culture, family, and values she holds dear? Are you prepared for the emotional investment, patience, and compromise required? If the answer is yes, you're ready for a relationship that offers unmatched loyalty, love, and partnership. However, if you rush in blindly, believing only in the fantasy, you might lose something truly special. Unrealistic expectations lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and ultimately heartbreak. The idea of an effortless romance without challenges is a myth. Real love involves work, understanding, adapting, and sometimes sacrificing. But these efforts are rewarded with a deep, meaningful relationship built on trust and mutual respect. In the end, the question remains, are you really ready for the reality of dating a Filipina? The reality includes cultural adjustments, family dynamics, emotional intensity, and sometimes long-distance challenges. But it also includes unconditional love, unwavering support, and a partnership like no other. The choice is yours. If you're prepared, patient, and sincere, you'll discover that dating a Filipina can lead to one of the most fulfilling experiences of your life, a love story rooted in trust, respect, and genuine connection.